I feel like people are together because they don't want to be alone.
Yep.
Yeah, and this is my biggest issue with relationships. Well, I mean, it's not an issue. You're just right.
Yes,
so.
you are correct.
Welcome, guys.
Hello, fuckers. How you doing? I hope everything's great in your world. Welcome to another episode of Guys, We Fucked.
It's the Anti-Slut Shaming Podcast. I'm Corinne Fisher.
I'm Krystyna Hutchinson.
And hope you're enjoying your spring and getting into summer. We're recording this far in advance. That's why I'm laughing as I say that. But make sure to catch me on the road. I'm in the midst right now of my 14-city stand-up tour, Eye of the Tiger Tour 2024. So right now, looking at you, Houston. I'm going to be in you June 27th, Austin, Texas, June 28th and 29th, and Salt Lake City, Utah on September 26th. All tickets available at CorinneFisher.com. You can also check out the Linktree link in my bio on Instagram or Twitter or Threads. I'm at Philanthropy Gal on all of those things.
I'm at Krystyna Hutch. Together we're at Guys We Fucked without the you and fucked. And you can find Eric at
Eric Freddy.
Never really that ready for it. Always with the Midwest timing, which comedically you're probably gonna need to work on.
Midwest timing.
Yeah, it's
a
just
little
like
slower.
I mean,
it's like a second slower.
yeah, right. As a comedian, you can
matters.
sense it. It's about a second slower than a normal person would respond.
I guess I'm never really sure if you're going to flip it back to me or.
Well, sometimes we forget because you're slow. Oh, God. If you want to email us, it's sorryaboutlastnightshow@gmail.com. Make that subject line interesting. This subject line is clear. It says, am I afraid of long-term relationships? Hi, C&K. I mean, I'm guessing, who knows? Who cares? What matters? Loyal fucker of almost 6 years here, and I've subscribed to Luminary just for your podcast.
Thank you.
I'm 26 years old, and I am finally ready for a long-term relationship.
26 is a good age for that, honestly.
This feels so manly to be making an announcement, but I don't know if it's a man or a woman yet. We'll see.
I think it's a woman.
My only issue is that my longest relationship has only really lasted anywhere between 6 to 8 months long. That's fine.
That's still long term.
Yeah. Usually in this 6 to 8 month period of dating someone, I get the ick like crazy.
Okay.
I always seem to find something about the person that I'm dating and break up with them. Yeah. For example, my last relationship was extremely boring.
That sounds terrible.
For a while, I thought that's because it's healthy. I tried to convince myself of that a couple times.
Yeah, it never works.
But I just couldn't sit on the couch, order DoorDash, and watch Netflix anymore.
That sounds awful.
Well, that's beyond.
Yeah.
That's not boring. That's just like that seems
That's
like
a prison sentence.
like a suicide watch. It wasn't boring because it was healthy. It was boring because it was boring.
Yeah, there you go.
Another relationship ended because the guy got extremely mean and resentful towards me and refused to talk it out.
That's a problem.
Another one ended because I was being love bombed and figured out 4 months in after a ton of manipulation.
Damn.
Sounds like it was all the guy's fault. It wasn't. I had fault in a lot of these relationships ending. And I think also it's good to not even ending, but like you were attracted to that person. Yeah, you entered this relationship. So yeah, there is obviously fault on both sides. Sounds like it was, yeah. I wonder if this is me pushing away before getting too attached and committed, but every time I think back onto those relationships, I am joyful that I'm no longer with them because they were not good for me.
Yeah, I think that about most of my past relationships.
A family member recently said casually, you have bad luck in relationships, and it really hurt me and made me think, well, your first mistake was being concerned what your family thinks about your relationships. I mean,
also,
I don't know how to
projecting.
Yeah,
That happens a lot.
I don't know how to pass this gift on to people, but when I tell you I do not give a fuck about what my friends or family think about my relationships, like I really mean it from the bottom of my heart, and I don't know how to teach you to undo that. But like it just like obviously like your partner has to be respectful of your friends and family.
Of course.
But besides that, I don't give a shit.
There's something in our culture, like in American culture, where it's like, what do you think of so-and-so? Or like talking about, did you meet Susie's new boyfriend? Do we like him? And it's like,
asked I don't think I've ever asked anyone, what do you think of my boyfriend? I don't think it's ever left my lips.
Yeah.
Truly.
And why, like, nor should it, really. Because then you're just looking for outside. It's almost like you're trying to convince other people that the person you're with is good because you don't actually think that that's the case, maybe. Something. I mean, I'm somebody who subscribed to caring what everybody thought about my partners.
Well, and deep in my heart, I know that I'll be hornier if they don't like them. So
Right.
I don't even want to know if they do.
It is nice keeping the lives separate. You know, your romantic and your friendship and your family. It's just separate.
Yeah, to me, yeah, exactly. To me, like, and again, this is like me. I know this is abnormal. Like, I don't really want my boyfriend with me on Christmas. I'm not fucking in front of the tree. It's a family thing. My boyfriend's not in my family. Like, he's not. All right. First of all, and it really made me think and made me think, blah, 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 blah. So first of all, what a cunty thing to say. I mean, I think you can say you've had a lot of bad luck in relationships in a cunty tone. It doesn't necessarily across the board cunty, but if you interpret it as such, I'm going to guess it was.
Based off of what you said to us, I wouldn't describe your relationships as, wow, you've had a lot of bad luck. You have been dating. You don't know a person until you're with them for 6 to 8 months. Actually, you don't really know them until you're with them probably long. Like, you find out more about a person the longer you're with them. And sometimes you find out things that you were like, oh, this is a deal breaker. I don't like that. And then you exit the relationship. So that, I think, is actually healthy.
Yeah, I also wouldn't say you've had a bad luck. I would be like, oh, you're 26 and everyone's acting in these situations like they're 26 too.
Correct.
Because they are.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, maybe that family member was projecting, especially if you weren't like talking about this topic and they just brought it up.
Yeah. Second of all, maybe I'm ending relationships when I know it's not going to go anywhere rather than settling like the rest of you.
Yep.
I mean, that's 100%
That's what I would
true.
say. Yeah.
And I kind of always said, you know, when people would criticize someone like a Taylor Swift, like I'm trying to think of a famous celebrity who, you know, in quotes, goes through a lot of men, or the narrative or the conversation will be like, she can't keep a man. And I'm like, no, maybe it's just like she knows her value, and she's not spending time with people who are not upping her value, which when you're that high value is extremely fucking hard to do. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we're not going to talk about Travis Kelce right now, like doing fucking keg stands and shit. He's such a bro. It's so, God bless him, you know? I was like, you know, maybe when your life is as complicated as Taylor Swift's, it's just nice to have a simple man.
It's like a cute, dumb guy.
Just a simple dude.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
There is relief in that for sure. I like a dumb guy every now and again.
Yeah.
I don't think he's dumb either. I just don't think he's
ditzy.
I don't, when you look at Taylor's lyrics, I just don't think that Travis Kelce is thinking of on the level of complexity that she is. That I don't think he's an idiot, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like people are together because they don't want to be alone.
Yep.
Yeah, and this is my biggest issue with relationships. Well, I mean, it's not an issue. You're just right.
Yes, you are correct.
I want to be with someone as amazing as I am, not just anyone. Mm-hmm. For example, I told my mom how my ex was manipulative and cheated, and she said, you really should have worked it out with him. He was great.
No, Mom.
Absolutely fucking not. Yeah, I think you're surrounded by a lot of people who are just kind of itching for like a partner, and they think that they subscribe to the mentality that any partner is better than no partner, which a lot of people do, especially older generations. And you just need to just smile and nod smile and nod. Oh,
and the one truth that every single person on this planet knows to be true, but is not talked about enough. It is so lonely to be with a person and not be fully in that relationship. Being by yourself is so blissful and beautiful and a gift that if somebody's going to come into your life, they better be offering you something that makes your life better, makes you want to be a better version of yourself. Because my God, I get depressed when I'm around couples and I'm like, you guys should cut this, and you're not, and it's really sad. Well, it makes me depressed.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually talking about this with my mom yesterday. We were at the Rainforest Cafe, my favorite place, and so
the one in the Empire State Building.
No, God, I wish that really existed.
We fell for so many April Fool's jokes that day.
Dude, we did, Chris. So I don't just sorry. I know you have a very pressing email, but we're going to go to a tangent right now. So yeah, it was April Fool's Day. As a reminder,
22 was gay.
As a reminder, we are literally professional stand-up comedians. Humor is literally our job, okay? And so first, Adam 22 posts that he's doing gay porn.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. And I showed Corinne, we were both like, oh.
And then I'm like looking at pictures and I go, this looks like
didn't even dawn on me it was April
gay, you know, like it looks like this is, you know, and I was like, and then I go, what day is it? And then I get home and Krystyna added me in a post from the Empire State Building where they said they were building a rainforest cafe at the top of it. You don't understand. I was already planning my 40th birthday party, which is not even this year. It's several years. And I was so excited. I was going to cry. My heart was filled with joy. And then I'm like, wait 1 second. I was
so
like,
pissed.
this is, I go, first of all, I know the franchise overall is not doing well, so I don't think that this is
why
what
would they
they're
have
doing.
real estate there?
Yeah, they're more of them are closing, and then I realized, oh, it's a fucking another April Fool's joke.
Same day.
And this one was cruel, and
Yeah,
a
it was
lot
cruel.
of millennials in the comments agreed with me that it was a cruel joke.
Yeah.
But then when you saw the response, you're like, actually, I think a Rainforest Cafe at the top of the Empire State Building might be lucrative.
Yeah, it would do very well.
For
Everybody
millennials,
was-
at least. We would love it.
Yeah, everyone was very excited.
So I went to the one in the Menlo Park Mall in Edison, New Jersey yesterday, packed.
Hell yeah.
It was fucking packed. It was
Yeah,
filled
yeah.
with joy. My mom says she enjoyed it because she loved seeing all the kids being so happy.
That's nice.
I mean, it was great. And also, if it's we always sit on the side with the guy holding the world, you know, like the Atlas Shrugged type of guy.
Yeah.
But make sure you go to the bathrooms if you're in this specific one,
yeah.
because the elephants are right by the bathrooms and you're going to miss them. And I had been missing them because I didn't always go to the bathroom. So just to
These
know.
are the things we like.
Just kind of a hot tip if you're going to specifically that Rainforest Cafe. Anyway, back to with life or whatever. So, you know, I was with my mom, and I follow a lot of people because I try to practice what I preach us on Without a Country about following a lot of people who have extremely different social and political beliefs than me. And one such person is this author named Suzanne Venker. And she, you know, she's a woman, I would say she's in like her 50s or so. And she talks a lot about how the feminist movement, you know, is kind of destroying relationships and women in general. And so she was having a conversation with a younger podcaster, probably like in her 20s still. And they were talking about how feminism tricked you. And so many women are kind of mid to late 30s now and they're unmarried and they're like, wow, like I fell for this trick of feminism.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And I'm kind of thinking like, I'm like, oh no, guys, do you not understand why we're upset? Like, are you, because to me, it's so clear that like, yeah, like we are upset to a certain extent that we are not partnered, but it's not because we fell for feminism. It's because women made the adjustments and rose to the occasion, and men not only, and this is again as a group, like as a group, not each and every single one of you, but like, and men overall did not rise to the occasion, and in fact, you know, lost skills. Like, so you didn't gain the emotional skills that women already had, but you also lost some of the, you know,
mental skills?
No, some of the like just like the crafting skills, like being able to put up a shelf or build something or change a tire.
Gotta do the manual
So
labor
modern
stuff.
men don't have those skills that many women have actually learned. Many don't. I certainly don't. And then, but I, you know, just, I chose to like make, had I not made money, I probably would have spent more time learning those skills for sure. But I'm like, okay, well now, you know, I have the luxury of being able to hire someone. But like and it really upset me that they were having this conversation and they were like misplacing where the bitterness and resentment is. Because there certainly is bitterness and resentment in women who are unmarried and if they want to be in their mid 30s and late 30s, early 40s, et cetera. But it's because we're angry at men for not stepping up, for us realizing we've been putting all this work into it and, oh, you don't think we're worth it. It's not that we're mad that we followed our dreams and we're true to ourselves and
that's not it at all.
And lived a feminist lifestyle. And I found it so concerning that as women, they didn't understand that. Now, I'm sure there are some women who got to that point in their lives and they were like, you know what, I should have just sucked it up and did that actual, extra emotional labor or did that unpaid labor around the house because I would have rather done that and not been alone right now. But I think it's far more what I just explained. That, we are, and again, we've talked about this a while back about like, I'm not even going to pretend that I'm not. I am bitter, but I'm bitter towards men for not stepping up, as we all should be. And it's okay. And stop like demonizing that feeling or associating it as like being old and crusty. Like they're weaponizing the bitterness they caused against us.
Yeah.
It's fucking fascinating.
That's an intricate little web you
wove. It's fucking fascinating. And it's not, go keep doing it. Cause it's not getting past me. Like I'm just tired of the same conversation. And so I feel like kind of going back to what you're saying though, is like, that's a conversation I was having. And I just feel like so many women in their 20s, and again, things I had witnessed at the Olivia Rodrigo concert, I think young women are really catching on faster. And I'm so excited for that.
That's great.
All right, so back to this letter. I own my own home, rent out the downstairs. Nice. I am doing well financially, and I want to be with someone who makes as much as me or more.
Great.
Something that's huge for me is somebody with drive and ambition. I've had to push exes to achieve their goals and become a better person mentally, physically, emotionally. Yeah, and that's a waste of your time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
so much of your precious energy being used there.
Yep. I think of how many more reels I could have made had I not been investing in that, Unfortunately, it wasn't even a thing when I was doing that. Unfortunately, I become uninterested in them because the dynamic changes and I feel like a mom.
Yep.
Vanessa Bennett from Mouth to Nipple. We talked about it.
That will make you lose your lady boner for a guy. Like, oh boy, talk about the ick.
Yeah. Yeah. Like go to the gym because you want to, not because you think it'll impress me. I'm emailing to ask, how should I go about dating? I know that I know, I guess, what I like. That's supposed to say. I know what I like. I know what I don't like. Am I being too picky?
No.
Anytime you're asking, am I being too picky? You are not. Please. There's no such. I don't think that there's any such thing as being too.
It's discernment.
Yeah,
it's discernment. You're not afraid of love, and you're not letting a guy in who's actually great. No, you're dating. You're getting to know these people, and around 6 to 8 months in, something is revealed to you about the person because that's what happens in dating, and you go, "Oh, okay, this isn't the relationship for me." Next.
And also, the phrase "being too picky" is pretty much always used not only just on women, but only on a certain type of woman, a powerful, strong woman.
I was going to say a woman who's a good catch.
It's always that. Because if they tell you the problem lies within you, then you feel like you need to change something about yourself, and then they don't have to change anything about themselves, they being men, right? Like to me, it's so clever. And also, I will say, I feel like in the relationship space, not in general, not in life as a whole, but in the relationship space, women are so much more susceptible to shame, and it's so much easier to kind of guilt trip us not me, I'm honestly, but to guilt trip many people who are more feminine than I into making it seem like the problem is them, or they should change something about themselves. Yeah. Like, just look at culture.
Yeah, because when the guy is in a situation where the woman thinks she's the problem and the guy perpetuates that, and the guy doesn't have to be accountable for anything.
Right, yeah. I don't think the issue is finding a boy to date. It never is. I'm literally not trying to be cocky, but that's the easy part. You're not cocky. Again, you're using all these things. You're beautiful,
you're young, and you have a lot going for you. You're a 26-year-old homeowner. That's fucking badass. Are you kidding me?
And you can tell that you're powerful because you're kind of saying, like, I'm not these things. Like, so you've been called picky, you've been called cocky. That's because you're doing life right, and it's making people fucking mad.
Yeah, keep doing it.
Takes one to know one. If I wanted to be in any relationship, I would be married by now.
Yeah.
The hard part is, how do I find somebody worth being with long term? Someone who is up to my standards. Attach some photos from my Tinder. Feel free to judge those as a man would. LOL. I really don't know the message I'm sending.
These are super cute.
You're gorgeous. You have a great
beautiful
face, hot bod.
Yeah, and
nice
you're
butt.
like, you have a really powerful, like, the way that you like sit and stand. Like, I don't know, your positions emanate a powerful vibe. I like it.
I will say that on your About Me, I only hear one thing. It says new account, same old mistakes, right? So as much as I love your pictures,
don't glorify being a hot mess, girl.
It's not, and also like it's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy. Then, like, if you say like you kind of say like, I'm open, I'm going to make the same mistakes again. Are you not setting that tone for yourself? So I think sometimes when we're scared of things not going well, we kind of make it into a joke, right? So it's like, I think my only recommendation to you is like, if you are as serious as you seem about dating from this email, like, are you serious about dating, or is dating something you feel like you should do, like I have experienced, and you're not really interested in it or serious about it? Because that's what I found out about myself. And I was like, well, that's why it all feels silly, because I'm actually truly not interested in it. And society is just so interested in it that it was so often easier to just have a boyfriend, and then people could stop asking me about it, and we could stop talking about it, and I could concentrate on things I really want to concentrate on. But that's the first step, is deciding, like, do you want a boyfriend because you really want a boyfriend, or do you want a boyfriend because you feel like you should have a boyfriend and that's what society is telling you? That's step one. Because if you are serious about it, you have to act like you're serious about it. And that line's telling me that you're it's like a little bit of a, you're putting a
half in, half out.
An armor up to,
Yeah.
so like, oh, if it doesn't work out, it was just a joke anyway. Ha ha ha. Like I'm silly. I just date, boys who suck. Cause like, that you're better than that.
Yeah. You're better than that. You're a homeowner. You know who you are. I feel, I get from this email that I feel like you, in your head, you're like, man, if I can meet a guy that I'm attracted to that has as much going for himself as I have for myself, the fucking sky's the limit. There's no ceiling. Like it really.
Sure.
Yeah. So if that's the case, I agree. Definitely be kind of more genuine to maybe just sit and think and really interrogate, like, what does your ideal relationship look like and how would it make you feel? And then approach your dating app profile from there. The pictures are great. You're beautiful. But I think the language is really important.
And you have to probably be dating someone like at least like 7 years older than you, just because you're 26. Like if you are really looking for something serious, you're going to have to date a guy at least into his 30s.
Yeah.
No offense,
Guys
Eric.
in their 30s are great.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You're fine. Well, your dynamic is different because I feel like guys in their 20s are good if you're older, but for when 20s are dating 20s, I think that's actually not
Recipe for disaster.
Yeah. It's weird.
And guys, if you feel like maybe you want to unload once a week on a Zoom, I have a Patreon, patreon.com/Krystyna Hutchinson, where each week I do group Zoom therapy, which is great. And then you can also subscribe to a level where you only listen to everything we talk about. I highly recommend it. It is not a replacement for therapy in any way, but the power of getting something off your chest to a group of strangers that are listening and alert is pretty incredible. And I have a solo podcast called The Voices in Our Heads, where I talk about all kinds of stuff, mostly mental health related, and how crazy the world is. That comes out every single Monday. So listen, won't you?
And if you're interested in listening to Without a Country, my solo podcast that focuses on politics, specifically really American politics, but lots of people from like Australia and Canada listen, and they're like, is it weird that I'm so interested in this, even though it's not having to do with my politics? Every now and then we'll pick something, globally, obviously talking about Gaza and Israel a lot over the past couple of months. But all of that and more, we talk animal rights, ethical issues, women's rights, LGBTQ issues. Like, it's just a great show if you're interested in being an active member of society, but having it presented to you with no filter, very transparent show, no bullshit. We look at news from the right and the left and everywhere in between, and we interview people in different spaces, whether politics and activism, etc. It's called Without a Country, and it is available on YouTube and everywhere you listen to podcasts on Wednesdays. And of course, grab tickets to see me on tour at CorinneFisher.com. Eye of the Tiger 2024, featuring Chloe LeBranch.
Cool.
All right.
Man, so I had Kevin has been having some diarrhea issues, but I found myself. Poor guy. And then I was having tech issues with posting the stuff today, and then I found myself just being more mad than the situation required of me. And so that with all the the work you do on yourself, you're like, okay, this is a trigger. So what is this? You got to investigate. And I finally got mad at my parents for giving all the gifts back to me. It took me 2 weeks.
Oh, because I was like, I could tell you were upset, but I didn't know you weren't mad.
I didn't. I wasn't mad.
Yeah.
And then I got so mad this morning. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is not an effective way for the emotional factory of my body. I'm like, we need to find a more effective way to deal with this shit. But it's like, man, when something happens, I didn't have a reaction to the sperm donor thing for a year because I was just shocked.
Yeah, I know. I know. Everyone around you was like, and I was like,
it's okay.
To be out of all the things that you have reacted in a large way to, this seems like the one that actually kind of deserved it. And we were all like, but this is the one that you're not reacting to?
No, yeah.
It was tricky.
Yeah. Emotions are very tricky. Yeah. So I just got so mad today. And I'm like, what the fuck do I do with this? I mean, you just breathe it out and fucking cry and work through it. But I'm like, damn, man.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I
so
wonder
annoying.
when you can get to the point that they don't have any control over your emotions, and what does that look like, and how high is that mountain?
Yeah, I mean, it's preventing them from having access to me in any way, even through my brother, which is
Well, I was thinking that I think because I actually told my mom that happened because I was like, I just wanted to make sure that her reaction was the same as mine, because I am not a parent, so I wanted to get an actual parent's perspective, because I know I had talked about like how, you know, if a child does something petty, it is absolutely like not okay for a parent to retaliate in a petty way, and I wanted to make sure she agreed with me on that sentiment, and she was like, yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
not.
yeah. When I told Rick, my manager, he was like, I could never imagine having those feelings towards my kid. And I'm like, fuck.
Right.
And it was a series of like dealing with other people's reactions to it. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's fucked up, right? Yeah, no, I know it's fucked up. And then it's not anything. I haven't been thinking about it. I mean, the stuff's in my house. But
were you thinking what triggered out of like, was there something that went on that the timing was now? Because it seemed like you've been not talking, because I had an idea what it might have been.
No. I mean, it's just parents, the subject of parents comes up all the time, but like, it's not everything.
No, not what upset you. What made your parents send the stuff back at this point in time?
Because
it felt like out of the blue, and I thought,
right. Well, I mean, my brother gave me a heads up that they were upset that I was talking about the sperm donor thing.
Right, but you've been talking about that for a while now.
Yeah,
because I thought maybe they had seen you on Fox News, and then that triggered it.
Maybe, because that was like their one safe space where they're not going to see me.
Honestly, yes, that's exactly what I was thinking, because I was like, the just like looking at the time, it happened so quickly after, you know, that was not that long ago. That was like your first,
right?
You were that brick colored, that
dress
was the first time, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
So that wasn't that long ago, and because I just thought it was so weird. It's like you've kind of like been separated, and it almost felt like I don't know. I watched some of your parents. I don't know if you mentioned them at all.
No, because I
made any
because
jokes.
I do like respect the fact that they love Fox News, and I don't, you know, I'm not trying to like infiltrate all their spaces in any way. But I make jokes on my solo podcast and here and stuff about my opinions on their actions and whatever. But I would never do that,
because I was almost thinking of like that's like somehow because of how self-obsessed their thinking pattern is.
Yes.
That they thought that was some kind of a fuck you to them, and then they fucked you back. I was just so stunned by like, I'm like, you guys have been like, I'm like, where is this coming from?
That's been the question.
Kind of a large, because it was kind of a large move to make when you've already had this much space.
Yes.
And I was like, where the fuck did that come from?
I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. And they've known that I've been publicly talking about the sperm donor thing. Like I've gotten word that they've been aware of that for a while. But
that's your story to tell.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And in that storytelling, I'm honestly still like, it was absolutely so disrespectful to watch me take a DNA kit home and not tell me. Like that was on every level. You could have respectfully handled that in a way that was like making up for the fact that you didn't tell me my whole life. But I mean, it's just.
I think maybe even like that generation doesn't understand how accurate those DNA tests. You know, I think they.
Maybe they're like, I honestly fingers crossed it doesn't work.
It's kind of like it almost like went over their head.
Totally. But I'm so mad, and I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, no, I mean it was such a wildly petty,
such a fuck you, and then from both of them. I mean, I know I'm not talking to both of them, but I'm like, man,
right.
I was at least able to rely on one of you being a little bit more sane and grounded, and I still think that is the case. But it's just like, oh man, the Father's Day gift sent back that pissed me off.
And also, I mean, just hormonally, as he ages, he'll be getting more estrogen, so he'll be more of a pussy ass bitch. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but it's true. That's why like older married couples, the woman can have even more power over the guy because he's just kind of turning into a woman.
Yeah, that's terrible.
A little bit.
Right.
I mean, I kind of really do believe that.
More estrogen would make you more sensitive and more caring.
But also more controllable. Yeah, so yes.
Right.
But more yes.
Yeah, and it's just like,
and then also over the course of a marriage, I do think in a traditional heterosexual structure, a lot of times we fall into the position where the man just gets beaten down.
Yeah, for sure. But that R.J. Spina book that I'm reading on the Voices in Our Heads and on my Patreon, I was reading a client example last night when I was recording, and this guy had come to him. Oh, such a sad story. So this guy was married to his wife, and maybe 6 months into their marriage, they were both on his motorcycle. They got into an accident. She is the brain. Her brain isn't working anymore. She's just kind of like a vegetable in a way. And he is dealing with so much pain and an opioid addiction. And he's like, my life is not what it was supposed. We were so in love, and we didn't get to enjoy these. And he said, RJ said to this man, he was like, I need you to promise me one thing or we can't work together. You can't shed any more tears for your situation. And because when you're doing that, you're looking in the past. All of your energy is in the past. You're directing it. And so I'm like, right. So I can't, like, I don't want to be sad over this anymore. I don't want it to affect me anymore. But just because I don't want it to affect me doesn't mean that it won't. So I'm trying to just figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really
I don't want to cry anymore of them.
Sage advice. And there is a point, especially like, I mean, I can't go from that perspective, but like with my dad dying, it's like, yeah, my dad's dead and it sucks and I'm sad about it every day. But at a certain point, it's just like,
you have to move on.
You just gotta, or you just kind of like, it's almost like you just carry it with you. Like think of it as like a little purse that you bring to a concert, like a small one, not a heavy one.
Yeah.
It's just with you all the time and it's there and you just kind of used to it being there. But you can't, you have to stop giving it your full attention. And when it goes like this, you just got to go, I know you're there.
You're here.
I don't have to turn my head. I don't have to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Constantly.
And like usually like in moments, like life moments where, you know, you're at a wedding and the father-daughter dance and the mother-son dance and you're like, oh, okay. But then like I've been really good with those of like, hey, this lifetime, I did not choose to have loving parents. That's okay because the lessons I gained from not having loving parents are invaluable and they'll stay with me forever. And they make me who I am. I'm very proud of them. I'm very happy that I had my mom and dad as my mom and dad. The petty stuff that they do is a learning experience for me, but I'm like, it is so detrimental to my energetic health in my mind and my body to keep being sad about this shit. You just have to move on. And like logically, like the logical me is like, yeah, like that's why like when I first got the box of stuff, I was like, of course they did this. Of course they gave me these gift bags. This is not shocking in any way, you know? But
well, because to me,
made me upset for the first time, like really upset this morning.
Well, but because I mean, for me, there is a way to flip it though. So, and again, not acknowledge it, but there is a way to flip it, and it just again reinforce. I know we talked about this, but reinforces like how correct you were in your decision.
Totally. Yes,
and it can kind of, I know, because sometimes you know that it you go, was that the right decision?
Right.
Again, it's just all these things that they're doing every single time. It's reinforcing the fact that you did make the right decision. Yeah. Pretty much every single time across the board. Yes. Even when, I think we talked about this on the podcast, not to air your, but even when you're a while back when you weren't talking to them, but your dad had like fallen ill and you said, oh, I'm driving down to the hospital. And he was like, why are you here? And so like every single time, sorry, not to bring up more
I forgot about that. That's okay. No, it's good. But yeah.
But like, it's just like, it's because then sometimes we kind of are asking this rhetorical question to ourselves, to the universe. Right. And the universe is like, bitch, I've given you the answer every single way I can give it to you. Just accept the answer. That's the answer. You are right. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's
so very true.
It's so... Because I mean, there's certain questions that I have asked the universe time after time, and like it's like I don't know. It's like
cannot spell it out clear for you.
It can be. You can want it to be a different answer. This is a fucking answer, and I'm just keeps hitting me in the head, and you're like, I guess this is the answer.
Guess right.
All right.
Maybe this.
How many times can you shake the magic 8 ball? You know?
Yes. And it's still a decision that I'm very proud of myself for that I never thought I would have the balls to do.
Right.
And so that I did get that additional reinforcement for sure. Yeah, I just have to like when those emotions pop up, I go, okay, we're just going to sit, we're going to emote, and then we just move on. Like, I'm fine. Now I'm fine.
Right.
But boy, this morning, it was a little tough.
And like, it's okay. I mean, I guess it's
just, that's how emotions work sometimes.
Right. Again, I don't understand, I guess, anger as well, but like it's similar to grief where I think it's just like passing. It comes out of nowhere sometimes. It's just hitting you, and like, it's fine to just like, step away for 15 minutes as long as you don't just start, as long as it doesn't get into that point where you're stepping away from your life again.
Right. Of course. Yeah. No, it's anger is a bitch. Anger, Sadness, I'm so much more comfortable with. Anger, I feel like I need to do something about it. Like I've been handed a fireball and I don't want to hold on to it. But there's not a lot of that I've found yet. Healthy ways, honestly, working out and running that's the only thing I've found so far. But I can't go running every time I'm mad, unfortunately.
Is there something else that like will physically tire you out?
Yeah, I maybe like jumping jacks. Yeah, maybe. My brain would be too cluttered to masturbate. But
right.
Maybe jumping jacks or something, like just physical exertion of some kind. Because it's like, I just don't want to give this any more
playing an Alanis Morissette song on the piano.
Yeah, that could do it.
Right.
Because I think anger is very valuable, and I think like channeling like the energy of addiction to being addicted to something that's super healthy and good for you. I wanted to figure out the same thing with anger. That's my next trick. I have.
Well, we recorded a pilot in a rage room.
And I've been to some. You gave me a gift certificate to one.
Did you go to that one?
Yes.
Was it in here?
That was in
Brooklyn?
Because I wasn't. I know it was in Manhattan. I was like, was that in Jersey?
That was called Wrecking. That one was called Wrecking Room, I believe, right?
Yeah, was that in Brooklyn or Queens? I forget. That was like a year or two ago that I went. That was great. There wasn't big objects like when we filmed that show. There was a TV that we hit with an axe. Hitting a television with an axe.
Sometimes you can bring your own shit too if you have.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I would love to do one in a car, like an old car lot where you can bash in cars. Damn, dude.
You could also take the objects that your parents gave you back and whack them.
That's
the ones that
true.
you don't want. Not the Rod Stewart.
No, the Rod Stewart remains here.
It's like the Rod Stewart's sick.
Yeah. No, it's pretty good. That's true. But I will say, it's nice that I was so mad this morning, and I was like, and I told Colin, I was like, I'm finally mad at my parents. He's like, okay, yeah. And then he got out my sound bowls and he started playing them.
That's so funny.
This actually helps. Really, that helps a lot. So yeah, but I like now I'm not mad, which is great. I think like the older me, like even 2 years ago, would have been kind of not on my A game for the recordings because I was so distracted.
Sure.
I'm not distracted from it, which is really nice.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's baby steps.
And then if all else fails, voodoo dolls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true. I did buy a book on Wiccan actually the other day.
Well, Wiccan and voodoo are completely different religions, but
okay.
yeah.
Sorry.
I was like, I'm not, because that's some of the notes I have on some Wiccan shops is they conflate things, and like I'm like voodoo is its own.
That's its own thing. Its
religion,
own lane, right?
New Orleans, it's a completely different religion. I'm not personally into it, but voodoo dolls.
Well, I'm not it's not good for me energetically to like wish bad on anybody. I can't. That's like poisonous to my,
Right.
I like honestly
I was joking.
Yeah.
Don't actually do that.
But I did actually consider it years ago. But like, the one thing that does help me is like wishing them well actually makes me feel so good.
Yeah, because
privately.
if they were to heal, then they would stop acting out in these ways.
Yeah.
So it actually would help all parties involved.
Totally.
Obviously.
Totally. And it can happen.
Yeah.
And maybe it won't. But you know who's great?
Today's guest.
I mean, my God. He's from South Carolina. He's a New Yorker. He's a stand-up comedian. He's taken New York City by storm. You could see him all around in every major club in the city. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Phil Duckett.